I've always been a fan of indie games because of their experimental nature. They don't have the financial obligations to higher-ups who often lack a deep understanding of what gaming is. This sentence also explains why the majority of today's AAA games often end up being disappointing, but that's a topic for a separate video. I've been playing Against the Storm on and off since its early access launch, and last week I decided to jump back in and see what they added to the game. And I must say, I'm fairly impressed. Developed by Aramite Games, a group of 5 friends, you can clearly see that this game is a passion project of true gamers. Before we dive in, even if you think this game might not be your cup of tea, I still recommend giving it a try because it's one of those rare gems. The game falls into city and resource management category, but it brings a unique twist to its genre. Our adventure takes place in a world ravaged by the Blight Storm. We have to venture out to the forests, collect resources, process them, and complete our objectives. We do this for our queen, who resides in the center of the map, the smoldering city. The game kicks off with the selection of our villagers, resources, and a well-chosen location for our settlement. Our population is a diverse mix of humans, beavers, lizards, and harpies, all dedicated to improve our village and meeting the queen's demands. But of course, they also have their own set of demands in return. Before discussing these demands, we need to delve into the resource management aspect of the game. Our villages offer various resources that depend on the biome, which can change and provide different resources. Some biomes, for example, make woodcutting easier, while others yield different resources from felled trees. But the progress of our village is entirely dependent on the hard-working woodcutters. Initially, our village is surrounded by trees, limiting our access to the resources. To expand and progress, we must clear trees to open the glades. These glades are divided into 3 categories: resource glades, dangerous glades, and forbidden glades. Dangerous and forbidden glades are rich in resources, but acquiring them can be challenging. The game has no combat, so we must overcome these challenges with the resources at hand and effort of our villagers. Processing the raw materials we gather is essential to fulfill the villagers' various demands. Production buildings offer different products with different rates. These rates change the amount of raw material we need to produce them. The happier our villagers, the happier our queen, and her satisfaction is the most crucial aspect of the game because it determines whether we win the round or not. The queen's happiness increases by meeting the villagers' demands, completing missions in dangerous and forbidden glades, or completing orders that we get as the game goes on. The reputation gained from fulfilling tasks allows us to unlock new buildings and process resources differently. I should also mention some new features that I wasn't able to experience since my last playthrough. Seasons and rainfall play a significant role in the game. Each season introduces its unique set of advantages and disadvantages. For example, crops are planted in drizzle and harvested in clearance. And in storm, depending on your hostility level, you receive some debuffs and may end up losing your villagers. Which brings us to the Rainpunk engine.
Are you worried that you can't meet the production quota? Are your workers being lazy? Do you need more products and you need them fast? Introducing Rainpunk engine. You can now utilize this new technology to collect the rainwater from the rain or from the geysers that you can find in your local biome. After collecting enough water, you can run it through the pipes to your production buildings to increase your work speed or increase the chance of yielding more products. Call now and get your own Rainpunk engine.
There is a downside of using this technology that the marketing team doesn't want you to know, and it's called Blightroot. Every time you use Rainpunk engine for your products, the corruption level of that building gradually rises. With enough corruption rate, a Blightroot cyst will spawn and start to corrupt your heart, which may lead to your villagers' early demise. However, in storm season, they become vulnerable. If you had built a Blight post, which you should, your Blight fighters will arrive and purge the wicked away. There is also a new species introduced, the fox. Although I wasn't able to unlock it yet due to eradication of my previous saves, I'm not pointing any fingers, I'm planning on doing some gameplay series, so maybe I get to introduce them to you. Once we establish our village and reach the maximum level of reputation, something unique happens, and Against the Storm introduces a new mechanic. After successfully running our village, we move to another one to start from the beginning, dedicating the resources earned in the previous round to unlock new features and prepare for the next challenge. We can level up, unlock new races, buildings, and passive abilities based on the achievements from the previous round. The game encourages you to approach each playthrough differently, thanks to its RNG element. In every run, you encounter unique choices and various resource types. So your usual strategies evolve based on the map, orders, and challenges you confront. It's this dynamic blend that keeps the game consistently refreshing because each run is distinct from the last. When we successfully establish 4 different villages, this number increases with each cycle. A cycle is complete and Blightstorm arrives, destroying everything. Yes, everything. Then we return to the forests once again and continue our struggle with the help of our axes. One of the reasons for my strong admiration for Against the Storm is its focus on the most critical point of the resource management genre, the early game. Making a village or city functional at the start is one of the most significant challenges in any game of this genre, and Against the Storm offers a formula that can captivate players for hours. It's important to note some negative aspects of the game as well. Against the Storm can at times heavily rely on RNG element, making the game either relatively easy or significantly more challenging. Additionally, some runs can stretch for an hour, which is long for a game that strongly emphasizes building over and over again. But I have full faith that developers will address these issues because they continuously update and bring innovations to the game. In early access, Against the Storm continues with a dedicated developer team. Their roadmap got me excited about many upcoming features. If you are familiar with the resource and city management genre, you will appreciate this game. My final verdict for the game is a glorious 8 out of 10. But keep that in mind that I will come back when the game is fully released.